Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming. This is my assumptions video. I asked people on Instagram to send through their assumptions so I could do the video. If I could ask you to like and subscribe, that would be fab. I really appreciate all of your support. Let's just get straight into it, shall we? So the first one that I got a few times is, you are confident. And I would agree, like I am a confident person. I've always kind of been this way where like quite outgoing and happy to make conversation in a room full of people that I don't really know. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm confident in everything. It just maybe means that like a lot of people, you have like an exterior which shows how confident you are. I guess that leads quite nicely into the next one, which is that I love myself. And I do, I'm not going to deny it. I do love the way I am, because if you don't love yourself, then how can you be confident? But there are definitely things, like everybody, that I have my insecurities about. I don't believe that there will ever be a time in my life where I don't feel insecure or unhappy with something. And I think that's the same for everyone, but I've come to accept it. Okay, yeah, I do love myself in a lot of ways because that's important, but that doesn't mean that there aren't things that I don't love. And one thing I have kind of promised myself is that I will work on the things that I can to make myself feel better, but I know that there's always going to be something that I don't like. For example, if you absolutely hate having like a flat chest, then you'll get your boobs done. But once you've got your boobs done, although you'll be so happy with them, one would say you should love yourself, you will always have something else that you don't like. The other one was you're comfortable in your own skin. I am comfortable in my own skin. I have days where I feel better in an outfit and one day than I do another. Typical girl things where you might be bloated one day and another day you might not. Maybe one bit of advice that I might share with you all is that when I don't feel comfortable in my skin, I do take pictures of myself. So today, if I didn't like the way my stomach looks, then I would take a photo, and a few days later when I'm in a different mindset, have a look at it and maybe criticize it in a different way. One day you look okay and the next day you don't, but nothing's really changed. I done that once on a night out. I felt so bloated and uncomfortable in this like really tight jumpsuit, so I took a picture of myself feeling that way, and I look back and thought, oh my god, like what the hell were you on about? It's all about perspective and how you look at yourself and you appreciate what you have got rather than what you would like, because otherwise you'll be miserable, always lusting for something that isn't you. The next one's interesting. It says, I'm not family orientated. And I think from like posts on Instagram and stuff probably don't seem it, and I would probably agree. I know a lot of people are a lot closer to their families than I am. My family is quite big, so it makes it really hard to like be close to everybody. But as always, there are people that I'm close to within my family and others, and I don't necessarily agree with having to plaster that all over social media for it to be a thing. I know, and I hope my family know, that if we ever needed each other, then we were like just a call away. Don't necessarily need to be in each other's pockets, and that's kind of how I am with my friends anyway. So it might seem that I'm like quite off with people, but it's not. It's that I don't feel the need to have to be in contact with people all the time. I'm quite independent, so to have people constantly asking how I am and what I'm up to doesn't feel necessary for me. Next one is, I have a big friendship group. Yes, I do, and a couple of years ago I all used to go out every weekend without fail, and it was so nice to have like 15 people at least always out and about. Obviously, as we've got a little bit older, we don't tend to go out in as a big group anymore, but still in touch with everybody. Similarly, I don't necessarily have like one group of friends. I seem to have friends like dotted all over in different groups, which I really like, because I prefer to like be able to go out with one group of friends to do one certain thing and another for another certain thing, and it's nice just to have different things to talk about as well. So I do have a big group of friends personally, not necessarily a big group anymore as we've got a little bit older. Next up is that I love food. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, I think about 90% of my stories are food, whether that be ice cream or dinner or breakfast or disaster I've had with cooking something. I do love eating. I literally, even if I'm bursting, I have room for dessert. Desserts are my thing. Like ice cream, love an ice cream. Food is like my best friend. And how can you not love food? Like, you have to eat constantly. So I mean, it's really hard for you not to love something that you have to do. One of my New Year's resolutions was to be vegan or vegetarian, whichever I fancy, at least one day a week. And I've actually found that I'm doing it a lot more than that. I've fallen in love with like corn nuggets and things like that. Oh my God, like revolutionary. I watched the David Attenborough thing, you know, where he said basically if we don't sort ourselves out, then we're all gonna have a short life or the world's gonna end, whatever. And it made me really upset. And like one of the things he said you could do is eat more sustainably. And that's where the idea come from. But I'm really, really enjoying it. Like chickpeas, who knew that they were so tasty? But yeah, I do love food. I will agree with that one. The next one is that I love to travel and go on holiday. Well, who doesn't? I have like a passion for travel, and like since forever I've always wanted to go traveling, like literally just pack up and go traveling at some point when the time is right. My grandma and grandpa went traveling around the world on a boat for 10 years, and I'm like so inspired by some of their stories, places they've been to, and I feel like there's so much more to this world than sitting in your town and like going down the pub for the weekend or going to the same resort every holiday or like going to places that are within arm's reach. So I'd love to just go backpacking one day and see the world. COVID doesn't make that easy. Going back to the food thing, so I had an idea that I would go and try ice cream in every country, and like obviously take a photo. My ice cream travel diary. So I would literally have ice cream rain or shine. I actually love ice cream. Last night, I thought I had some ice creams left in the freezer. I went to the freezer and looked and it weren't there. And I swear, it proper threw me off my tracks. I was gonna film this last night, but because I didn't have the ice cream, I was like all out of salt. I had a clear plan in my head. It was gonna be dinner, bath, ice cream, video. The ice cream didn't happen, so the video didn't happen. It was like I was going to bed sulking. The travel and ice cream scenario, I know I've said ice cream about 20 million times, is gonna happen at some point. The next one is my family helped me to get my flat. Some of you may know that I have lived on my own for like 2.5 years now. Yes, like I did have help from my family in this respect that they helped me to save money while I was living at home, which was really nice. I didn't just get like a handout of here you go, here's a deposit, take it. People are of the opinion that it isn't possible to save money and get a mortgage and on the property ladder at my age. People think that, oh my God, there's no possible way that I could ever do that. Well, you could, and you've just got to stick to saving. Be really strict on yourself. When I started working was pretty much when I started to save, and my dad encouraged me to do that. I have never really seen that portion of money which I now spend on like my mortgage and other bills. So it's a really good way to get yourself into like the habit of not having it and not spending it. I tend to not see the point in buying material things. I would much rather put money into my flat and having memories. And the final one is that I am academic. When I was at school, I was actually quite good at stuff, if I do say so myself. Like I had done triple science and things. When I was in sixth form, I decided I was going to take biology, physics, business studies and maths. So I thought, yeah, can't be that hard. Why I don't know, I don't know. I really struggled. Like when I went up to A level, I was the only girl in the physics and the maths class, I believe. And it was just horrible. Like I just felt like I couldn't say anything. Quite quickly, I dropped the maths because that was probably the hardest one. Picked up economics, and I absolutely loved economics. Halfway through A levels, I just decided that I wasn't going to make much of myself from it, so I went and done an apprenticeship, which is probably the best decision I've ever made. Although now, when I think of it, I would have liked to have got like a degree or something, so I'm thinking maybe in the future I might just do like an open university course where it's like really flexible, just so that I can tick that one off the list. Those are the assumptions that I had about me. If you have any more, or you wanted me to do like a get to know me video, then you can send me messages and we can set something up. I've actually really enjoyed that, just talking about my experiences and stuff. Hopefully you know me a little bit better now, and in the future you can get to know me even more. I would really appreciate any support on this video. Ciao for now, have a nice day, see you soon.